and I would love to bring out the wonderful, beautiful, lovely, hilarious Hercules. Yay! Oh my God, look at me switching over. I am such a pro at this now. Look at this. I'm so proud of myself. I also am very sorry. My stream is a disaster. My community is I love them, but you're going to get a lot of weird sounds. So just be prepared that maybe, yeah, you're just going to get some random Metal Gear Solid characters bullying you for the next couple hours. And I hope you're okay with that. But before, I do all my proper introductions, I just want to say congratulations for joining Evil Geniuses. Everyone give a nice clap. Yay! And also, I am so happy to have you here in wonderful Seattle. Are you excited?
Oh yeah, it's really cold though. I heard it was gonna be cold, but I didn't think it was gonna be this cold. I'm from Texas and I've lived in Austria for 2 years, and somehow this is colder than Austria. So
wait,
yeah.
Oh, is it really?
Well, right now it is. I mean, we get snow and stuff over there, but like over there, I mean, it's very normal to have heated floors because of how cold it is. And I guess that's not a thing here, so I'm dying. Which is why I've been spending all day and night here at the office because it's heated.
I will say, I think the cold this year kind of hit us like a train because it was really, really way too warm here. When you were here like a couple months ago for like the Elysian thing and the photo shoot and stuff, that was like abnormally warm weather. Like when I went to the pumpkin patch the week before Halloween with my friend, and it was like 85 degrees out. It was so hot that we had to leave. Everybody at the pumpkin patch was dying, and then a week later it was like 40 degrees. So like I have the heat on. I'm cozied up right now, so it's okay. Like you're in the same boat as all of us, and we do get a really pretty winter. I'm hoping we'll get one this year, and that'll be a nice for Seattle. But yeah, I will say moving here during the coldest months we've had in a very long time probably wasn't a good look on Seattle, but I promise it is very pretty.
I'm excited though. I can't wait. Like y'all get like all the seasons, so that's what I'm excited for.
Is Austria just like cold? Or
pretty much, yeah. Even like our summer is like a month, so it's just cold. Like it looks hot, but it's cold. So it's like that.
Wait, how long were you in Austria for?
So I've been dating, so my boyfriend is Austrian, and so I basically have lived bicontinental since 2018.
Wow.
And then I lived there for a full almost 2 years, the past 2 years. Then I just came here to Seattle like a week ago.
Oh my God, where were you before that then?
In Texas. I spent my whole life in Texas.
Oh, so like you're like, yeah, so it's really cold.
Yeah, I like tripped out. I had like no easing into anything.
I mean, I get that. That's totally fine. Like every time all my friends that are like from here, we always like go to LA and San Diego all the time together, and they're always like, oh my God, we're such sun worshippers. We need to go live in the sun. And then we go there for like the third time in the year. I'm like, I fucking hate the sun. I need like I can't drink the water here. All the riverbanks are empty. Like it's like people don't realize, yeah, you can talk crap about cold weather, but it's really green and it feels fresh, and you can drink the water. Like drinking water is really important to me. If I can't drink tap water, like if it's 3 a.m. and I'm dead thirsty and I can't go to the tap water, I'm not going to move there. Like that is just a no for me, and it's usually expensive to live in hotter climates, but I'm really excited to have you here. I don't know if you knew this, but when I first started at EG about a year and a half ago, most of the people that work with us are not from here, like especially like the creators and stuff. All the creators that live here are not from here, except for me. Like I grew up here. Like my parents live 15 minutes from my house. And so like for like the first like few months, like I was just basically giving people recommendations on what to do. Like I was like, okay, I guess I'll just be your concierge of Washington. But I'm also like lame. Like I don't go anywhere or do anything. So like it was kind of embarrassing for people to be like, "What are the best bars around here?" I'm like, "I haven't left my house in 15 years."
Valid.
The one on this corner is great, I think. They have beer. Like that is like I'm sorry I can't provide anything more than that. But I do like to do outdoorsy stuff. So summer next year we'll all have to go to like we have to go like kayaking and hiking and stuff because we still haven't been able to do that all together yet. We did it once for Elysian. We went up to Snoqualmie and did some content there and it was really nice, but like we did not really have a lot of time, so we like drove to the areas we're supposed to go to instead of hiking. And I was like, this works. Not to spoil the fun.
I know, I love hiking and all that. I grew up in South Texas, so like hiking and all that stuff, I love it. And so like being here, I didn't know much about like Seattle or Washington, but I did know that you guys have like a lot of cool places to hike, and I definitely like can't wait for like the weather to warm up. I'm not doing that in the cold. So.
It's the best because as you get older, you have less money, and you're like, I guess we can go walk somewhere, and you're like, great, let's go drive 10 minutes to a mountain. Like I love that. Every time I go visit my friends, don't get lead off she got the best Seattle Rex. Well, that's because I had to look cool for you, Taylor. I was like, I don't want Taylor to have like, I don't want my boss to see how lame her employees are and be like, Lisa, where do you go drink? I'm like, my living room. No, I like my whole personality in my early 20s was like hiking and backpacking, and then I would like all my friends would go every single weekend. I was like, yeah, let me go. And then I skipped a few years because I started doing like comedy and stuff, and I was like, oh, my weekends are full now, I don't really do it. So I tried to get back into hiking like in my late 20s. I was like, oh wow, I'm just out of shape now. Like those years I took off really hit me, and so hopefully next year I can get back into it now that like COVID and stuff isn't as crazy, because trying to get back into hiking after the big part of the pandemic was like everywhere was full. It was like going to Disneyland. Going to a river was like a ticketed event almost. Like I needed a fast pass to go up a mountain. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, no, that's really awesome. Are you gonna miss Austria?
Oh yeah, I miss it so much already. The cool thing is like in Rocket League, our lands switch off between NA and EU, and we just had an NA event. So the next one is in Rotterdam, Netherlands, next month. So I should be going out there. But what I always do before land, I always go home like the week before, the week after, and then I just like go visit all, like I say my family, but his family out there. And everybody, and we all hang out. So I get to go back just for a little bit, and during my favorite time, because it's like Christmas time, so it's like when all the Christmas markets are out and like everything.
Oh my god.
So, yeah,
I'm very curious about like Europe, because like I've only been to Asia, and Asia's fun because like you can just fly to other parts of the Asia really cheap, but everywhere in Europe, like Central Europe, or like it's you can just like go drive 40 minutes and go to another country.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, did you travel a lot when you were there?
Yeah, I think I like, so like as an American with that NA education, I didn't process how small EU was until we went. And like like one thing about me is like I love Disney and I love Disneyland and stuff, and I'd always said I wanted to go to Disneyland Paris. And so it was like our 2-year anniversary, and it was literally like our anniversary was like the next day. Like we were talking about it like in the morning, and I was like, dude, like we should celebrate this, like we should do something. And he was like, well, do you want to go to Disneyland Paris? And I was like,
yes.
What? And he was like, we could just go tomorrow, you just need to get some tickets. And I was like, okay, and how does that work? And he was like, oh, I'll show you. And it was like I think it was just like a 1-hour flight for like 80 euros a person, and you just take a backpack and you just go. And yeah, I didn't like realize like how quick it was. We just like went to Disney, flew for an hour, went to Disneyland all day, and then went home.
Oh my god. Wait, so it's like a tiny Disneyland.
Yeah, so like I would say it's probably like the size of like just Magic Kingdom in like California. or like California Adventure, like just one of the two parks. It's really, really
What?
small.
Wow. I go to Disneyland a lot because my best friend works for Disney. And I am like, I'm secretly a theme park junkie. Like, I love theme parks so much. And I've always wanted to go to Disney Sea in Japan. So that's my goal next time.
Same.
Because I heard Disney Sea is awesome. And then the Disney in Japan, they have ramen. They have Mickey Mouse shaped ramen eggs in their ramen. And I'm like, how do they do that? Do they have Mickey Mouse shaped chickens? Like, how do they make the eggs? I just want to go to see the eggs. Like, that's it. Like, I've gone to Disneyland a lot and I love it. I did the Star Wars thing this year, which was really awesome. But I just got to see these mouse shaped eggs. Disney Sea is the best Disney park. I was really sad because like I didn't get to go because I had no money. And now I think yen is cheaper, so I might be able to go next year. But that's awesome that you get to go back though. I really want to go to Europe. I think if I went to Europe, I'd do like in like 3 weeks you can visit like 5 or 6 countries, which is crazy. Oh my God. What about the food though?
Oh,
I'm a food traveler. Like that's why I go to Asia. It's because I like Asian food. But like what's the cuisine in Austria? Because now I'm curious.
It's schnitzel, which is like the thing that we all hear of.
I like
it's
schnitzel.
Yeah.
It's like this big.
Yeah, it's like this big, and like I always thought it was like chicken or something, but it's like pig.
It's pork,
Whatever.
yeah. It's just like
Pork,
pounded
and-
pork.
But they do it in like Austria, like deep central Austria. They do it with like cranberry sauce and lemons and like stuff. And I was like, oh, this is like, it doesn't even taste like it tastes like a dessert, like the way that they do it, which is why I think I like
So it's
it so
Austrian
much.
pigs.
Yeah, literally.
There's a German pub within like walking distance of me that has schnitzel, and it's like as big as my like, yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's probably not Austrian good, but it is really good. I mean, like now that you're here in Washington, you got to go to like the little Bavarian town that we have, Leavenworth. Has anyone mentioned that
gosh.
to you?
No, I have ended up on like Washington TikTok though, because of like being here, and it showed me like some cool Christmas markets that reminded me of Austria, and I was like, oh, I feel like this would make me less homesick, or it would just totally increase it and I would fly the next day.
Yeah, Brave said you lived in Bavaria, South Germany. Oh, wow. Yeah, Leavenworth, if you guys look it up, it's basically being in another country. You know how like everyone has Chinatown. We have Bavarian town here in the mountains, and it's beautiful because you're like surrounded by the mountains. So all you see is like snow. Oh my God, let's all go. Taylor, if you're watching the stream, we should all plan a trip to go to Leavenworth. It's only a 2-hour drive. Let's go do it, and then we can pretend you're in Austria again. So there you go. That's awesome, though. I wanted to ask, though, how did you get connected with EG? Like, when did that all happen? Because it's a great story, and I want you to tell it.
Like, did somebody tell you, or did I tell you, and I don't remember?
You and Nicole briefly mentioned it to me, but you also have to tell our stream because you are now part of my community, and they already love you, so you might as well just go in the deep dive. Tell us how you ended up in this beautiful group of people.
It's honestly the wildest story. So I'm very open about it, but I was on Dignitas for just under 3 years. And that last year, I'd been with Dignitas since like right when I started blowing up on TikTok. Like a bunch of orgs reached out, but I was a really big Dig fan, like an actual Dignitas fan. My boyfriend was a pro player for them, so that's why I was like super into it. And then he ended up leaving, and I was like, no, I love it here. Like, I'm gonna stay. And then my last year, I like kind of reached a point in my life with like university and living in Austria and everything. Like, it just wasn't really working out. They wanted more NA creators. I didn't want to move. Like at the time, I did not want to move. Like, I was like dead set on staying in Austria.
Well, things have changed, so.
And so I went to I stayed in Austria, and we had Worlds, and I came back to America. No, sorry. It was before Worlds, and I had started to tell my friends that I was like secretly thinking about leaving Dignitas, and like because it was gonna be like this big massive deal if I left, because I was their first Rocket League creator ever. Like it was like this big old deal that I would have left. And so DreamHack invited me to go stream for them in Dallas. I think it was DreamHack Dallas. And so I went to DreamHack Dallas and I invited some friends from middle school that I hadn't seen in years. And we all just like met up when we were like hanging out and talking. They were like just so shocked at like what my life had started.
They're like, you can make money doing this? Like, that's how my friend, they act like streaming is like this, like this witchcraft of like a content. Like, wait, what do you mean people watch you play video games? Like, what kind of mumbo jumbo is this? I'm like, well, we're great people, so sorry you're boring. Anyways, to your story.
So we're all hanging out at DreamHack, and it was day one. Day one went like really chill, like nothing crazy happened. We went and we watched CS, and like I was like meeting people. They had the CRL tournament going on at the time, and then day two happened, and day two was fine. It was day three. Day three happened, and my friend texted me, and he was like, I had to check out of my hotel early. Can you like, can I leave my bags at your hotel, basically? And I was like, oh, I like literally just stepped out the front door, but I'll go back up so I can like unlock it for you. And so he was like, okay, like I'm almost there. So we go all the way back up or whatever. And the thing I tell everybody is I'm like, there were 4 elevators that you could have taken or gotten into. And so we
This is your EG rom-com story.
My little little Hallmark Christmas movie. And so we take the bag over, and then we leave and we go back to the elevator. I don't remember like what floor we were on, but we were like pretty high up. And so like it takes like a minute, or like it takes a little bit to get down to the bottom. And so like the elevator is going whatever. It's literally just me and my friend in this elevator. He's my mod too. And we're just waiting in this elevator for it to go down, and then it just stopped, and then it opened, and this woman came in, and she had sunglasses on inside.
Like, who's this celebrity walking in right now?
I was like, what's going on? Because we figured out that they had a creator hotel, and for some reason I didn't get put in it. I got put in the hotel with all of the org owners, the people that were in the bands that were playing at DreamHack. We don't know why I got put there, but I didn't get put with the creators. And I initially was like so sad about it because I wasn't with any of my friends. And so she comes in the elevator and she has her sunglasses on, and she's just in a normal suit. It wasn't like it was like an EG shirt.
It wasn't like Cruella de Vil.
No.
Yeah.
I was like standing there for a second, like against the wall in the corner, and I was like looking over, and then I like pulled out my phone, and I was like, just Nicole LaPointe, and I was like, no, there's no way. And so I was like, I just like have to make sure it was her before I like said anything. And so I just went, excuse me. And she was like, yes. And then I was like, are you Nicole? And she was like, yes. And she like took her sunglasses off, and I was like, hi. I was like, I'm Herculyse. I was like, I'm a big fan, like just in terms of like women in esports and just everything that you do. I was like, I'm just wanted to let you know I'm a big fan. And EG has been in Rocket League since I've been in Rocket League in like 2017, but like they're not like this big, you know, statement org in Rocket League. Like honestly, that was Dignitas. Like it's becoming like since I started, it became a thing. Like but yes. Like, back then it was not a thing. Like when you asked if like someone was an EG fan, I have a story about that later, about me actually lying that I was.
You have an hour and a half to tell me that story, but yes.
I'll crack open one of these, and then we'll get into that one. But yeah, I was just like, are you Nicole? And she was like, yes. And I was like, hi. I was like, big fan. I was like, I'm Herculyse. And she was like, oh, hi, Herculyse. She was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I'm streaming at DreamHack for DreamHack. They invited me out here. I was like, I just literally flew in from Austria like 2 days ago to come do this. And so she was like, oh, mind you, this was out of everything. I'm sorry. Out of all the crazy stuff that happened to us, I still think this was the crazier part. Nicole goes, do you want to get in my Uber with me? And it was like a 5-minute walk. And she was like, do you want to take an Uber with me? And me and my friend were like,
Yes.
a 30-second Uber with you? Yes.
This is TikTok. My 30-second Uber ride with Nicole, VG.
So we were like, yes. And then we're walking behind her to the Uber. And she gets in like the middle row. Like, it's like a 3-row car. And I just like hit my friend. And I was like, get in the back seat. And I was like, I'm sitting next to her. And so he got in the back, and then I went and I sat next to her. So we're like, just
where is Nicole? Talking. She should be watching this. Like, she should be like crying. She's probably crying in the chat right now. Like, oh, okay.
So she was like, we just kind of started talking. Like, I told her, I was like, I'm actually really good friends with your Rocket League team, the full roster that was at the moment. And because they had an Austrian and Germans, and they're friends with my boyfriend, and we all speak German, and we're great friends. So I was telling her, I was like, I'm actually really good friends with your team. I was like, I don't know why I felt the need to tell you that, but I wanted to tell you that.
But like in a threatening way. I'm actually really good friends with your team.
Good friends with your team. Be afraid.
I just need you to know.
And so and then this, I'm like 99% sure this is like what like kicked off this series of like crazy events. So obviously, tell the truth, kids, but she asked me a question, and I, for some reason, decided to lie.
That's okay.
So she asked me why I was here, like, because, like, obviously for some people, like, flying out to DreamHack when there's EU DreamHacks is, like, not really worth it. And so she was like, oh, like, why are you staying out here in America? And I was like, oh, I was like totally 100% committed. Jake, I love you. They know I love them still. We're like still really, really good friends with everybody there. But I told her, I was like, oh, I'm orc hunting. I'm leaving my orc.
Like plant into her head.
Yeah.
I'm actually currently looking for... I love women in esports. I'm looking for a new job.
I'm best friends with your team. We both speak German.
Lisa Wallen is so cool. Anyway.
And so I literally to this day, I don't know why I said it. My friend was so shocked why I said it, because like I had at the time no intention, really. I like talked about
You're like squeezing their hand violently, like, yep, I'm organization hunting.
And so she was like, oh, she was like, we might be interested in, you know, Rocket League creators. And I was like, oh. Have a conversation later, stop by the booth, and I was like, yes. Like, this conversation, by the way, actually happened in a span of like a minute or two.
Yeah, this is like a Hallmark Christmas movie.
It felt like 30 minutes.
But it felt like eternity.
So we took a picture together in the car, and we sent it to the Rocket League team. We sent it to Rizex, and like, so like I'm like showing this picture to everybody. I'm like posting it on like my private alt, like showing all my friends, and I'm like, I don't know what I just did, but I think I just started like a chain reaction of something that I don't know if I meant to do. And so me and my friend like waited, and I was like, we can't go stop by the booth immediately. We gotta wait like an hour. We can't like seem eager, like we gotta wait. Like we're gonna go do something and then come back. And so everybody was trying to distract me. And then we went by the booth, and she wasn't there. And so like we're circling it like 10 times, and then there was like
like vultures.
And there was a mechanical bull next to it, and so we like all rode the mechanical bull. Like
wait, at DreamHack?
Yeah.
Who is gonna be riding a mechanical bull at DreamHack?
We did.
Yeah, it's for you only. Everyone else avoided that. They're like, it's noon. I do not have the energy for this.
So we rode the mechanical bull to like waste time. We were like looking at the stuff near it, and then we saw her, and she looked so stressed out, and she was just like, she really just gave me like a, and like kept talking to the person.
You're like, oh no, did I piss her off?
Oh, man. And I was like, okay, we need to just leave. Like, we can't be here. We just gotta go. Like, we look crazy. So we just left. And I was like, Okay, that's it. That was like as far as that conversation's going. It's whatever. Like, I'm happy with where I'm at. It's fine. And then I think it was like either later that night or the next day, she followed me on Twitter.
Oh, and you're like, oh no.
I was like, oh, I like didn't tell anybody.
I don't know if you're like me, but like whenever some like industry person that I really respect follows me on Twitter, I immediately think about everything I tweeted that I don't want them to see. Like, I'm like, oh no. I have been thirsting over ugly anime dudes for like 3 years now. I gotta go back and delete all these.
Bro, my whole thing is like, when I'm like low on engagements, I just tweet out titties.
Right? Like, you're just like, here's my boobs. I
started thinking about all that, and I was like,
oh no.
Good. And so
for some reason all your boob photos are hashtag Rocket League too, which is very crazy, you know, like
rocket ball.
Hashtag rocket titties. Anyways, that's what you're saying.
And so she followed me. I don't remember, I would have to look at it, but I don't know if we like had a micro conversation on like Twitter or something.
Hold on, it says your volume's kind of low. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh. I don't know if this helps.
You sound beautiful. Someone actually, Will said you have cool surfer girl vibes.
Oh, I'm from South Texas by the beach, conveniently.
Yeah, she surfs on sand rivers, so yeah.
I grew up by the beach, so that's very fitting.
Yes, the good old Texas surfing. Anyways, back to your story. Sorry.
I think. So
also, Mr. Monkey says hi.
Oh, hi, Monkey. This is one of my mods.
So he's hearing you tell the story for the 30th time?
For, like, the millionth time. So, yeah, we, like, talked a little bit in DMs, and I was, like, I didn't want to, like, push it too hard and be like, oh, yeah, I'm looking. Because I really wasn't looking. Like, the truth was I wasn't looking. And I really don't know why I said that. And so, yeah, I think we might have had like a Discord call once or something. I don't remember. And then that was kind of around the time I told my manager, I was like, okay, you know what? I think I want to start looking like at orgs. Like that was like kind of exciting. Like, let's go talk to people and see what happens. Like maybe I'll stay at Dig or maybe I'll go somewhere else. Like, who knows? And like, I just kind of let everybody know, like I wanted to like explore my options. And yeah. And so I just like told everybody, I was like, I want to like explore my options. And so at the time, like the one I really, really wanted, I either wanted Liquid or Complexity. Those are like the two biggest ones. I loved Liquid just because it was EU, and I knew they would have supported me being out there. And I liked Complexity because I love the Cowboys, and so and I wanted free Cowboy tickets. And so I really wanted to talk to them, and these conversations went on for like a month or something, and then for some reason, out of nowhere, they just died. Like the conversations just ghosted and died out of nowhere. And me and my manager were so confused, and I was like, what's going on? Like, I swear, like we were like this close to signing. What's going on? And she was like, I don't know. I can't get people to answer for some reason. Like, I don't know what's happening.
Nicole has a gun to their head. Yeah, for some reason, people aren't answering. It's crazy.
I don't know why these people aren't answering you. And so, basically, like a very short period after, it'd been about 2 months, I think, I got a DM on Twitter from Taylor, and I didn't know who Taylor was. And she didn't follow me.
Like, who is this woman?
I've never interacted with her.
Beautiful flamey hair.
Scary woman. I got the craziest text from her. She messaged me on Twitter and I don't even remember what it said, but it was just like, hi, Herculyse, like, I'm Taylor from Evil Geniuses, like, Creator Collective. Can I add you on Discord and, like, have a meeting with you, basically? And I was like, oh my God. Like, I started freaking out. And I was like telling my manager, I was like, EG just reached out like 2 months later. I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, why are they reaching out of like the blue? I was like, and mind you, at this point, I like had straight up told my manager, she was like, well, do you want me to like push for EG? Like, I know some people there. And I was like, no, it's fine. Like, I don't really care. And I literally was like, I don't really care for EG. I wanted to go elsewhere. And so,
like in your head, you're like, I don't even. It's not like I like him or anything. It's not
like,
like I care. It's not like I'm a fan of Nicole or anything. It's fine. We weren't even serious. It was just a thing. It was just a fling.
It didn't hurt.
It was just a car. It was just a car ride. It's fine.
It was just a small car ride. And so, she was like, can we have a meeting? And I was like, sure. I don't remember if this was the one that was like the meeting was like the next day or something, or she was like, your meeting is like a week from now. But I remember like it felt like I waited a month, even though I know I didn't.
It's like 24 hours. It's been a month.
Probably.
We literally messaged you this morning. Yeah, but it's been a month in my head. So.
And so I was actually on a trip with Dignitas, and I told her, I was like, I'm gonna sleep in today and I'll come into the office a little late.
And that was the last I ever heard of you.
I am not taking this call at your office. I'm gonna feel so bad. And although I did tell my my best friend from Dignitas, and I was like, I'm taking a call. And I was like, just don't talk about it, because I really don't know what is happening or where this is going. And so yeah, I like got on my laptop in the hotel. I actually recorded it because I recorded like a handful of conversations, because initially I had this idea to do a series of like behind the scenes of like what it's like to look for an org.
What it's like to be in a car ride with a very intimidating esports CEO.
And so I don't think I'll ever post it, to be honest, because it's actually kind of emotional. I don't know, but like basically I filmed like all the times like orgs would talk to me and then ghost me, or like get my hopes up and stuff like that.
It's like the worst form of dating.
Yeah. And so I filmed this conversation with Taylor just for this video I had, and she just like let me know that really, you know, she wanted to be honest that the conversation was just a formality, that Nicole kind of just was like, you need to speak to her. But that Taylor didn't understand why she wanted to talk to me, and like frankly had no interest in me.
Before I even met you, I heard nothing but like, I fell in love with this girl in the car ride. Like that was it. Like it was literally your Hallmark rom-com of EG. So, and then I was excited to meet you because I followed you. I was like, oh my God, she's so cute. And then I met you and I was like, oh my God, this is Demi Lovato if she was a gamer. I love her. Like, but anyway, sorry.
I get that so much.
I know, and it's so bad, and I'm so sorry, but Demi La Gamer, there you go, it's her new name. Gamer Lovato. Okay,
Gamer
I'm done.
Lovato.
Sorry.
So yeah, Taylor just let me know in that meeting. She was like, I really have no interest in picking you up. My boss pretty much just made me call you. But you've got about 30 minutes to let me know who you are, because you get a 30-minute slot, is what she said.
You had a 30-minute interview. Tell me everything about you.
Pretty much. She was like, you got like 30 minutes. And so I let her know, like, literally everything. I also, like, it was the first time in org, like, out of everybody, because the background was that I used to be the number one female, or not even female, but like the number one TikToker in the world for Rocket League for about a year.
You are in my heart. Still. Anyway.
And also for background, if you don't know me, I was the first like massive Rocket League TikToker ever.
I love that is such an accomplishment, because there's probably like what 10 TikTokers for Rocket League, but you're number one, so it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, no, like now there's even back then it was people that were mechanical. That was the only way you could get views. You had to be really high.
You had to be really good at the game, but you also need to be entertaining, and you're entertaining as shit. So you're like, I got you on both. motherfucker.
No, I was like, jokes on y'all. I was the lowest rank in the game and somehow was like pulling all these views because I made people think I was joking about it. And I wasn't.
This girl is trying to be bad at video games. It's so funny. You're like, yeah.
And I was like, jokes on y'all. Like,
trying. That's like me,
so,
like, I do it for the content. Yeah, I meant for this joke to bomb. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
And so, yeah, basically, I was peaking. Like, I was on track, you know, for like 1 million in a year. Like, all this crazy stats people would tell me. And at the same time, people didn't understand that it all happened on accident. I never had the intention to become a content creator. I didn't grow up wanting to be one. I watched PewDiePie in like middle school, but not to the point where I was like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber or something. Like,
well, I'm glad you didn't turn out to be PewDiePie. So.
Yeah. And so yeah, all of it was really by accident, which is, in my opinion, what kind of led to like the downfall of everything. Because I was a waitress at the time, and I was also in college, and I'm a really big people pleaser. And so all of a sudden, I went like literally overnight from no messages. I went from like no messages to like hundreds and thousands of like hate messages a day, and I thought everybody was being serious.
I hate the internet.
Well, me too. I thought everybody was being serious. So after like a year and a half, I just left, and I just told everybody. I just posted it a TikTok, and I was like, I'm
Peace
sorry,
out,
like,
bitches. You guys are
bye.
mean.
It's not worth it to me.
You know what I've learned from TikTok is don't read the fucking comments. That's literally like it. Like,
do it. Don't read your comments.
Also, my Instagram, I have it set to you have to follow me to comment, which was so good for my reels because I get so many people like, typical female comedian trying so hard to be funny. I'm like, shut up. But also thank you because I probably earned $1 from that comment and that view that you gave me. Your hate views feed me money. Yeah, the internet's fucking worthless. Only to women. Like,
for real.
Like, men will get like 1 day of heat. Everyone else is, oh, look, we got a raid from Neurotic Fodder, which is such a crazy name. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, it's, oh my God, man, the internet is so mean. But to women, like men, if they get any heat, it lasts like a day. Women will continue to get harassed forever. So I don't blame you on that. I'm also in the same boat as you. Sorry, like, not to interrupt you, but like, I did not expect to be a content creator at all. Mainly because I'm like 33 years old. I was like, I think I'm too late for this. Like, I feel like I'm way past the prime of content creation. And then of course, like, the pandemic started. Like, I don't know, when did you start doing TikTok and like content?
Literally the pandemic.
Yeah, like that was
I got stranded in Austria for 4 months because the airport shut down, and we lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, and he had scrims every day because, like, obviously his job gets to keep going. And I was so bored that I couldn't talk that I started making TikToks.
There's no such thing as an age of the internet. I know that because there's like old ass streamers and shit now. I'm like, thank God, because like I hope people are still watching me in my 40s. No, I feel like the pandemic like kind of like reset society. Like, because I mean, I don't know how much background you know on me. Everyone watching probably does, but I've been doing comedy for almost 9 years now. It'll be 9 years in February, but I never cared about it. Like, you know, like people I started with have already been on like Jimmy Kimmel and shit, or moved to LA and New York, and I'm like, that's great for them, but like I don't want to move to LA because I can't drink the water. I told you that. Like, I'm like, I could be the most famous comedian in the world, but if I can't drink the water, I'm not gonna do it. But also, I just, like, never felt like I had a place in that community. I was just like, I just do it because it's funny. Because people on the internet are mean. I used to post comedy clips, and men would be like, typical women, try and be funny. Women don't earn funny, blah, blah, blah. And I'd be like, you guys are mean. And they'd stop posting stuff. Or I get booked a show, and people would be like, oh, you only got booked a show because they need a woman on their roster.
Oh, my God.
Or
I'm dealing with that right
or
now.
you're like, only getting booked because you're cute. It was never because I tried or because I was funny. And then you realize, and you probably realize this over time, it's like, if it was because I was a woman or attractive, then any person could have done it. But they chose me specifically because there are definitely hotter women out there.
That's like, I just got into casting. It'll be a year ago next month, and I have done like basically like I have
JK, there aren't other hot women. I'm the hottest. Anyways, back to what you're saying.
Yeah, just for everybody, I'm the hottest. No, but like I've had people like straight up tell me like, you only like book all of these things because you are pretty.
Yeah, or you only blew up on something because you're hot.
Because you're hot. And I'm like, really? Because all I get told is how ugly I am all day. So
and how you look like Demi Lovato, who is beautiful, by the way. Well, no, it's funny too, because then you become this person who's like, I'm too scared to upload, and then you get a little older and you're like, fuck it. If I got these views because I was hot, then I will own that. And then they get mad at you because they realize that you know that. They're like, fuck, damn it. But also, like, if anything had anything to do based on your gender and looks, then other people would have way better views. Like, I'm not, like, that's just who, it's like, I know I'm not ugly, but there's definitely way hotter women out there. Like,
oh, dude, I'll be scrolling on TikTok, and I get, like, you ever, like, scroll on TikTok, and you, like, end up on, like, some random person's TikTok that has no likes, no view, like, literally, like,
oh yeah,
2 likes.
Me reacting to women's content for laughs. Bro, like,
there's like, I end up on these girls' TikToks sometimes. Like, they end up on my For You page, and it has like 2 likes or something, and they look like models. And I click it because I'm like, is this like somebody just like stole this person's video, right? And they just like posted it. It's like, no, this is this chick's actual account, and she's got like 100 followers, and she's been doing this for 4 years and can't gain traction. And when I see that, I'm like, no, there's no way. Because if the pretty thingy was a thing,
right?
Like, this girl would have millions. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, like, yes, it is like algorithm, and like everyone's like, you like, I don't, do you use Instagram Reels too? Or
I mean, I'm trying to learn it. I'm bad about it.
It's okay.
Basically, when I stopped, I literally left for about I would argue like about 2 years. I left like straight up for about 6 months, and then I just was like sporadically here over the next year and a half. And it literally was because I also, despite like, yes, I was on an org and all this stuff, but I don't think a lot of people realize it, is yes, I was on an org, but I was not a full-time streamer.
Yeah.
I was not making enough to be a full-time streamer. I had enough to pay my rent and then go eat what I could find at work.
Meanwhile, my streaming money is my spending money. Like, I'm like, if I move back home with my parents, I could definitely pay my rent with my streaming money. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
but
literally, like, I was living with my mom and my dad, and like, because I couldn't like move out or anything, and then like I would help whenever, like, we have our apartment in Austria, so like we split the rent on it even when I'm not there, and stuff like that. So I was like, it really wasn't as much as I think people thought I was making. And then when I joined EG, I finally got put in a position where they were like, go be full-time and see what you can do now. Like, if you can do, like, you think that you can do it again, like, go do it again. Now you're in a position where you can. And I'm like, oh. So that's why, like, this morning, I actually posted my stream schedule for the first time.
In 37 million a month. Yes, I make $37 million in this 2-bedroom apartment outside of Seattle because I can't afford living in the city. That's how rich I am, bitches. Anyways, back to what you're saying.
But I got, finally, I'm like in this position where it's like, you can stream as much as you want. And I think this is something like streamers and people don't talk about, but when you're streaming and your income is dependent on how many subs you get, while Twitch is taking 50%
and more because it's untaxed.
Yeah, and it's taxed.
Yeah.
Think about how much you're like truly making.
I make about 75 cents an hour.
Literally. So this morning I was like, I finished all my casts for the weekend. Like, I had been booked out for like 4 months or something, and it finally ended. Like, I have like until December 1st basically off, which is like a week. And so I just posted my stream schedule, and this morning I was like typing it up to post on Twitter, and I was like, oh my God, I have nothing to do. No, I can stream. And so I just typed in, and I was like, 8-hour minimum stream each day. And I was like, I could literally just enjoy my time gaming all day and then just take all the clips like I used to do back during the pandemic when I was stranded and then just go post them. But like I used to like hate being forced to stream because I didn't want to like I didn't want people to think that like they were like an ATM to me because like you could definitely tell like before I left that I hated streaming. Like if I didn't reach my like sub goal, like you could tell I was stressing and I was panicking.
I also think it's inherently a female thing because we get told, like we were talking about earlier, like you only do this because you're hot. And so when people started like donating money and subbing to me, all that insecurity you gain from the internet is like people are only doing this because I'm attractive or blah, blah, not because they like my content. And then I started feeling weird when people were like giving me money. And then they're like, well, why are you streaming then? I was like, I don't know. Like, right? Like I still get like, oh, thank you. Why are you giving me money? Like, and it's like, and then you look at it, it's like, dude, stand-up comedy. Like I will do like a 20-minute set and I'll get paid in cash. And it's not like a lot, but it's a decent amount sometimes. Like sometimes like a $50, $100, not a lot is what it is. But that compared to like streaming for 80 hours a month, I'm like, yes, I'm putting more effort into streaming, so I shouldn't feel bad. I shouldn't feel bad about this, but for some reason you do. And I've realized it's inherently has to do with women because the whole time it's like people don't take us seriously. Like as content creators and gamers, it's like we've been told like we're only doing this because we look a certain way or we bring something that isn't what we actually do as content. So I mean, obviously don't feel bad because you're wonderful and you're hilarious and you have this cool surfer girl vibe apparently. So, but like, yeah, it is a weird thing. Like when I started streaming at the beginning of the pandemic, it was much different than comedy where I had to like write a set, show up at a bar, do 20 minutes and leave. And it's like, I'm live for 4 hours. I'm just myself and people want to give me money for that. That's interesting. Yeah. It's a weird thing. It's odd.
It's a very odd thing. I think no matter what, especially as somebody who had like a normal job before this, I will never, and I've said it publicly so many times, I will never understand the concept of subbing to people. I will never like
I sub to all my friends, which is bad because like it'll be like you owe Twitch $140 money a month. Don't even pay me, just pay me in subs at this point. Like I subbed away. I had to like recently just unsub to a bunch of people because I was like, I'm sorry, I love you, but like I'm literally spending $100 a month to like 10 of you. I love all 10 of you, but I can't do this anymore. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Also, literally. I do love as someone said I like my sound. See, people love you so much that they're not even using my annoying ass fucking alerts during this interview. Like, I don't want to interrupt this beautiful blue-haired goddess with, you know, whatever weird Stream Deck sounds I have, which is really just for them to bully me. But yeah, it is a very odd thing because it's like I am still getting used to it. I have a lot of comedians come up to me and be like, how do you make money on Twitch? Like, I want to start doing something that isn't comedy. And I'm like, let me know when you find out. Because like I just love video games and I love having a community that supports that. Like I'm not doing this to be a fucking millionaire. Like
yeah,
if I want to do that, I just sell feet pics, you know, because my feet are beautiful. Okay, like but instead I have too much of an addiction to video games and people are willing to suffer with me. Like it's great, you know. But yeah, no, I'm really glad that you got to join EG. I mean, this is the first time I've ever been with an esports organization ever. And my story is a little similar to yours, except for with a different person. I think you might have met him at the Elysian thing that we did, the video thing we did. Silas, did you meet Silas? He was the producer, director. He was running around doing stuff. But we used to work at a grocery store together, like 10 years ago. He was like a vendor and we were both really into like video games and movies and stuff. We'd always bond over that and I was on his podcast. And then he got a job as a producer at EG, and about a year and a half ago he was like, hey, we're filming a commercial for Elysian and Nicole was supposed to be in it, but she couldn't make it. I don't know if she was like, she had something else to do or sick or whatever. And he goes, and they wanted somebody who was like not a dude that plays video games, and like you're the first person I thought of because we worked at a freaking grocery store together and we're nerds. And so I joined, I did the video shoot, and he took me to the side and goes, hey, just to let you know, they're thinking about hiring content creators, so you should like talk yourself up to them and all this stuff. And I was like, okay. So like in between like shooting different parts of the commercial, I'd be like, so I create content. Like it was just like me like talking, like basically basically what you did. Like I'm shopping for organizations, but I'm like, I write, and I love video games, and I love beer. Like it was just me like talking out of my ass for like hours. And then next thing you know, like a month later, Nicole hit me up and I was like, yes, my manipulation tactic worked, and now I'm still here. So I planted the seed. It was great. And then what's really funny is that you said you didn't know Taylor, but the funniest thing is when I started at EG, they kept saying like, you know Taylor. I was like, I don't know Taylor, because I read Taylor's name on paper. I was like, I don't know this person. They kept saying like, you're friends with her. And I was like, I don't know who this is, but if you say I'm friends with her, I'm friends with her. I walk into I walked into office, and on my first day, and it was Taylor's first day, and I was like, oh my God, Taylor, what are you? Oh, wait, you're my boss. like her and I have hung out before. Like we were legitimately friends. Like we got drunk and got Korean barbecue together. And I was like, oh my God. Oh, wait, you're my manager? Like it was a very odd, like, oh, I see, because I don't know you as your full professional, real born name. I know you as an internet friend. Like that was it. So that was very funny that I joined. I was like, oh, I know someone here. And I was like, oh wait, that person's my boss. Like, oh, I'm so happy to have someone here. It's like, oh wait, you're my manager. Well, this is going to be very interesting. And it's been great. You know, it's been a crazy year and a half, and it's really cool to see because, you know, starting with EG, like, you know, we have Sonic, Fox, and Sage. Like, they were players that we adapted into content creation. Then we obviously had, like, Justin, Aru, all the other ones. And it was only recently that we started, like, getting other creators. A couple weeks ago, I interviewed Tiny, who you met, the keyboard key maker, and it's really cool because I'm like excited. Like I have coworkers that are like cool. Like I don't have a coworker who's like a 50-year-old man complaining about his marriage. Like I have this cool Herculyse girl that has awesome TikToks and plays Rocket League and has a surfer's voice. So I love it. It's great. It's good times. It was an excellent moment. It was very excellent. I cherish it forever. I will say, out of any manager I had, you are definitely the coolest and have the best hair. Because almost every other manager I had was like a man in his 60s and was really mean to me. So Taylor is the polar opposite of that, which is great. And I'm really excited for you to be here because like I'm not big on the esports end, which is very ironic. I want to be. I think like because like when I get into something, I don't know if you're like this, when I get into something, whether it's like a video game, movie, whatever, I go full into it. Like I want to.
That's how I got into Rocket League.
Yeah, like you find something you like, and like you're just deep dive into everything. Because like I just don't want. I want to know what I'm getting into, and if somebody questions me, which is always a man, I want to be able to back that up. So it's like that's who I am. And so for me, I tell people like I really want to learn more about like I've played Rocket League a few times, and all I know is that you can be a mess at it. Like that's what's like. I just go in. I'm like. I can just try not to explode. Like that was basically make a goal and try not to explode. That's all I remember is from Rocket League. But so like me, it's like I want to deep dive into other things, but I also know that the things that I guess am valued by the company and the things I'm valued as a person is that I am good at with all different types of people and creators. And so I was like, okay, well like I'm obviously going to hang out with Herculyse every single night and play Rocket League now that you live here. So it's and now I'm addicted to Gunpla. That's my new thing is I build robots because I need a hobby that isn't looking at a screen. And it's like I could have gone to the gym, but instead I decided to build robots and have a neck ache every day. So that's my new thing.
Valid. That was my middle school hobby.
Your middle school hobby?
I used to take toasters. My mom got me a toaster from Goodwill, and I would take it apart and put it back together. And then when that wasn't enough, she put me in a robotics school where I could like actually go build robots after school. So I did
like
that
real robots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
I had
real
built like plastic ones. But yes, that's awesome. Oh
So
my
like
god.
we did like the Lego ones and then like the normal ones. Like I spent my whole life thinking I was gonna be in what was it? I used to tell people I would go, I am gonna be a ballerina and I'm gonna do mechanical engineering on the side. And I used to tell everybody that.
And then you're like, this actually is a lot of work that I don't want to do.
And then I went to college my first year and I was like, never mind.
I have a friend who's a ballerina, and I've never seen such intense calves in my entire life. My calves look like Jello compared to yours. I think it's a little too late for me to do that. It's a lot. Yeah, that's intense. Wait, did you actually do ballet though?
Yeah, I did ballet from the time just before I was 3 until I was like 19.
She really? Oh my
Yeah,
god, I want to.
I literally, I was the cliche, I broke my leg and just stopped.
I mean, I feel
So,
like that's typically like it's really hard to recover from sports injuries. I messed
yeah.
up my knee playing soccer in junior high, and when I do any kind of squats, what did junior high? I was 15. Whenever time I do squats now, it still clicks.
Yeah, well,
I'm like, it's been like
I
20
broke my knee
years.
playing soccer, and then it messed me up in ballet. I couldn't do it anymore.
I haven't seen the photo shoot yet. Did you do ballerina poses in your photo shoot?
Oh yeah, I've done all of it.
Oh my
I
god.
don't look like I used to, but my mom's got all the pictures. But yeah,
Oh my
I've danced.
god. Now I want to see them. I also want to see the photo shoot. For those who don't know, EG did these really awesome like photo shoots where we got like stylists and shit for us, and it was amazing. It was so funny because Taylor walking into the stylist, Taylor knew in her head, she's like, she's not gonna agree with what they're gonna give her. Like she gave me that look like have fun. But like they were very much like, here's some cool pants, blah blah. All the outfits they gave me were super cute, but I'm like 5'10" and I dress half like a boy. So like Taylor was like, here's some shorts to show off her legs,
Oh,
and here's a men's t-shirt. And I'm like, perfect. Like you know exactly what I wanted.
I just realized what Jesse and Taylor were talking about. So like in the photo shoot, like they were having me like just mess around like for funnies, and they were like just jump, and I like could not jump without pointing my toes, and because I was in socks, and it just like I couldn't do it. I was like it
You're in
just
your
was happening.
natural ballerina pose.
And then as the jumps continued, he was like, do it higher. And I did it higher. And then he was like, are you a dancer? And I was like, I used to be. And he was like, do like the full jump. And I was like, we'll see what happens. I'm almost 25 now. And so they got like pictures of me like actually like doing like dance jump poses. I don't know where
Oh,
they
that's
are.
so sweet, though. I mean, I can't wait to see them. I mean, I never did any dance. I make jokes about how I'm tall. My parents never took advantage of my height. I played soccer. I was playing indoor because I had to quit in high school because America's like, you either play sports or you get a job. And I was like, well, I love money. So I started working at Arby's and Quiznos and then stopped playing soccer. But I started playing again after high school, and I did like indoor a lot because I loved indoor because the games are half the time. I do not have the stamina for 90 minutes of running, and it's just like small sprints. And I stopped right before the pandemic. I was thinking about getting back into it, and I actually think I asked Taylor a while ago, what would EG think about doing like an employee team soccer team? Like I was like something like that, or like a sports team. We can all take dance classes together. Oh my god, I have
God,
so
I feel like that. So I used to do. I want again. I want to
Hey,
get
real quick,
back into
Mr.
it.
Monkey, calling her a grandma when I am 33 years old is insulting. Okay, I am the best I've ever looked. Okay, when you turn 33, you're gonna look the hottest you ever looked too. So just letting you know, it's the best years of your life. Sorry, back to what you were saying.
So back in like the YouTube era, back in the YouTube era, I was very obsessed with like the old school vloggers. Like I loved all of them. Like all of them, Adeline, Morin, like all those types of girls, Ava. And so as soon as I got the opportunity to start vlogging, because people were like, dude, you travel so much. You need to start vlogging. Like, you do cool stuff. And I was like, okay. So I started getting into vlogging. And then, of course, in the in-between of, like, the whole org thing, I was, like, very, very, like, sad all the time. So I was like, I'm not vlogging this. Like, I'm just sad. Like, nobody wants to see this. And whatchamacallit. So I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to get back into vlogging. The other thing was like I couldn't vlog where in my own apartment because there's very few new apartments in Vienna, and you would have like easily figured out where I lived, and so like it was
Oof.
I couldn't do it, so that was like annoying. And Vienna's also very small, and I did have people find me, but whatchamacallit, if we like did like a vlog series of like, I don't know if you watch this. There's this YouTuber that I like to watch. I don't remember her name right now, but she does this series called I Tried Blank. And like if we just got like a group together, it was like I tried ballet and like I tried soccer.
Let's do it
or something.
You're right now your mod's annoying me about my skin routine because he's shocked that I'm 33 years old. I will say real quick that I did not take care of my skin until I was 30. I was like, wait, I have to wear SPF every day? And my friend's like, do you have a window in your house? I'm like, yeah. She goes, yes, every day. I was like, like my face dropped. I was like, no fucking way. Yeah, I obsessively.
I didn't know that.
If you want a TLDR, just say I obsessively moisturize my skin. I am constantly putting shit on my skin because the more
I don't do any of that.
The more moisturized you are, the less wrinkles you're gonna get because wrinkles come from being super dry. Okay, so if your skin's too dry, it's gonna stick. Just keep your skin moist. That's all you gotta do. Even though people hate the word moist, you gotta. You know what? You live here now. I'll hook you up. That's really it. You just gotta do that. But no, like that's another thing I've learned too is that like I live in an area where there's like a cool like dragon on a rooftop down here, and I used to post pictures of it because like. Yeah, Washington is fucking nerdy. Like, a lot of people underestimate that Washington State is, like, the central place for nerds. Everyone's like, no, it's LA. LA's central for everything. But, like, we got Nintendo, we got Microsoft, we got Amazon Gaming, we got Wizards of the Coast, we got Pokemon. Everything is here. When I started getting into Gundam, I was like, should I order this online? I found, like, 10 hobby shops within 5 miles from me. But I used to post this dragon on my rooftop all the time. Because it was really dorky and cool looking. And then I realized I have a lot of followers now. And, you know, there's a small percentage of those that might be really creepy. Not saying that people are. So now, like, yeah, you have to be, like, careful about shit you post. Because,
have you ever had, like, what's, like, your weirdest, or I don't know if you have one or not, but, like, I love asking my friends this. Do you have, like, a weird, like, fan stalker story? Not like a bad one, obviously, like just a funny one.
I have an interesting one like yours with Nicole almost.
Oh,
so like we had we have the Seattle Sounders here in obviously Seattle. They're the big MLS team. And one of the star players that they had when I was really into the soccer here from 2009 to like 2013, and I just kind of like drifted off because, you know, it wasn't my thing anymore. But one of the star players here, Lamar Nagel, went to high school with a bunch of my friends, and he played for the team, and like he, you know, kind of blew up for a little bit. And I was really into this team at all, and I didn't want to be the person who's like, oh my God, is that Lamar? Like, is Lamar in the same room as us? Blah, 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 right? Well, one time we all went to a game together, and we all went to a bar after, and I was with my friends. I went to high school with them, and they brought him out, and I was like, oh my God, Lamar Nagel's here. And I had to like be like really quiet and like silent, right? And I was like trying not to freak out, like I pretend he wasn't even there. Like, you know, that thing where I was like, I don't even want to, I'm just gonna be like, oh, you're Lamar, that's cool. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of him at the time. Well, at the end of the night, like, everyone got like pretty drunk. I was pretty sober, and I was like, oh, I should probably get home soon. He goes, do you want to ride? And I was like, because we kind of live like in the same city. I was like, you want to give me a ride home? He goes, yeah. You're like, I mean, like, you're like, what, like a mile from me? It's totally fine. I said, okay. And I just get in the car, and I'm dead silence for like 20 minutes. And then finally he was like, so how do you know like so-and-so? I was like, we're friends. I was so nervous back then. I was like, I don't even know what to say. And he's like, that's cool. Did you ever play soccer? I was like, yeah, I played soccer. It was fun. It was a really good time. He's like, cool. Where'd you grow up? I was like, I grew up here. I grew up in the city. Same city by you. I was like, back then I'm still a mess around people that I like respect and love. Like even around my own friends, I'm crazy. But I literally sat in that car in silence for like 25 minutes, and he was just like, what is wrong with this woman? And I was just like, the whole entire time. And he was just like, well, did you have fun in the game? I was like, yeah, I had fun. I love soccer. You guys were great. You guys were really great. As season tickets. Like, it was just like, I was just like so perpetually nervous around this guy. And he was just like, okay, well, it was really nice to meet you. I was like, yeah, you too. Yeah, I hope you have a good night. And yeah, great game. Okay, bye. And I like slammed the door and then ran to my house. My friend messaged me the next day. She goes, how was your ride with Lamar? And I was just like, it was all right. He was cool. Like, I was just like that was it. I have season tickets. It was fine. Gingerbread boy. It was a disaster. I had like an opportunity to like meet the players and stuff too, but I was like so like nervous back then. I was like, it's fine. I don't gotta meet them, and I regret every moment of it. I was like, fuck, I should have taken up the opportunity. Aww. My stupid ego got in the way.
Bruh, I felt that. I had the opportunity to go to the
Nervous Boys. I sound like the gingerbread man from Shrek. Like, oh, it's okay. I'm fine. I got season tickets. Get him on the Lair. That was like 10 years ago. I don't even think he plays for the Sounders anymore. But anyways, that was my story. Besides that, I was just terrible at soccer. So, I mean, I still am. That's the best thing about, here's the best thing about indoor soccer versus outdoor soccer is that you don't have to like run. You can just sprint. So if you're playing for like 10 seconds, they can't tell if you're bad or not. My team won the championship last time I did it for the D League, which is like, the D League is the lowest league. We won the championship for the shittiest team. Like, that is, to me, that's the funniest trophy ever. It's like basically they gave us like a participation trophy and like we got to celebrate it. But no one knew I was bad the whole time. I scored 1 goal in 10 games and I talked about it to everybody forever. I'm like, remember when I scored that goal? And they're like, yeah, we remember. That was like 7 games ago. I'm like, just thought I'd remind you guys.
A win is a win.
A win is a win, you know? Anyways, did you ever play any other sports besides ballet? I guess, yeah, ballet is a sport. I'm not gonna debate that. Of course it's a sport. Have you seen those calves? Yeah.
Like I said, I'm from like deep South Texas. I'm from Corpus Christi, like by the beach. And in Corpus, kickball in like South Texas, like kickball is like a massive thing. And like it's like a very serious thing. So like my mom
like, and it's not for children?
No, like you start playing it as a kid and you can play it until you're about like 18, 19.
Oh yeah, I forgot Jesse's from Texas.
Yeah. So yeah, there's like full adult leagues and everything, but I played from the like Pee-wees, which is like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 until I was like 15, 16. And you can win like scholarships for this stuff. And I remember like I used to be really good at kickball. Like that, because I
used to really kick that ball.
I was good at it because like it's not like a height thing. That was like what made it so fun. Like your height didn't like hinder you at all.
Yeah.
I think that's why I was good at it.
My parents didn't put me in basketball. They put me in soccer. But yeah, anyways.
My parents put me in basketball. I would have been screwed. But yeah, I used to be really good at kickball. I played kickball for the longest time. And then I did soccer. I played basketball, volleyball, soccer, all that stuff. But like kickball and ballet were like the 2, like that goes hard. And then I grew into my I want to play soccer phase.
You look like someone who's played a lot of sports. You have that vibe. That's a good thing. You look like you're in shape is what I'm saying. But you have the vibe of someone who played a lot of sports growing up. The only other sport I played was ultimate frisbee.
Oh my gosh, I went through an ultimate frisbee phase too.
I did that in high school. I had a league of ultimate frisbee players that I played with my ex for like 3 years, and it was amazing. But I'm bad at sports, especially with my hands. I'm good at soccer because it just uses your feet. Hands, I don't even know how to throw. I would throw a frisbee and it'd somehow end up on the freeway. I don't know. My entire job was just to distract other people. That was it. I was like a jester of ultimate frisbee. Oh my god, should we have an ultimate frisbee team? I want to do an EG something. Like we have to have some sort of sports.
EG soccer game, but with a giant Rocket League ball.
So we just get real cars. We rent
And
cars.
we all dress up in cars.
We
We all
rent.
everybody has to put on a car costume and then play soccer in the outfits.
We just rent cars, real cars, and then we'll just play with
we all
soccer.
get in those like kiddie cars from like Toys R Us, and we like sit in them like all small, and we try
You
and
know
like hit the ball.
what? This is all a great idea. It's just whether Nicole is gonna approve this budget. I don't know if you should.
Taylor, I have a content idea.
She's gonna
another
get a real life Rocket League. She's gonna get a message, and I'd be like, "We need 10 children-sized Hummers from Toys R Us, which doesn't exist anymore, and we need some soccer balls. We're gonna do real life Rocket League. It's gonna be great. This actually is not a bad idea. As we're talking
I think it
about
could
it right
be
now.
a really good idea. I bet this would go viral on TikTok.
I'm looking at it right now. We're an hour and 14 minutes in. I'm gonna clip this. I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna send this to Nicole and be like, "Hey, we got an idea for
Listen,
content."
I have an idea. I need kitty cars and a giant soccer ball.
We
Don't
should.
question it.
Has there been? I mean, I know, like, because like I'm like a lot more in the anime content. I know people do like in real life anime videos, and they're all super funny. And I'm like, I won't even try to be on this level. But I have not seen any real life Rocket League.
We've had people attempt it. We've had people promise they were going to put on real life Rocket League lands, and they didn't do it.
Because they're like, do we need real cars? No, they're not like us. They're
Yeah.
not silly goofs like us.
Nope. They're not going to drop money on 10 tiny children cars. So,
You know
Yeah,
what? Those cars are fucking
Oh, done it.
expensive.
they are.
Like, you can buy like a 92 like Ford Taurus for cheaper than one of those child Hummers. Like, it's like I would just rather just buy a shitty real car instead. I'm honestly like 100% down for this. I have all these ideas for crazy content because it's like now here's the problem with working for an organization that gives you money is that I'm like, here's all the ideas I have, but they cost money. Will you guys cover this?
Listen.
How? And then it just turns into things like, this is just things you want to do, Lisa. Like EGCC goes to Japan. Are you gonna film content? No, you guys just send me to Japan.
Like, I have the best content idea. How many Disneylands can I go to in a month?
EGCC goes to all the Disneyland.
EGCC takes on Disneyland.
EGCC gets expensive skincare routine. EGCC gets a nice facial. EGCC gets thousands of dollars worth of clothing from Nordstrom. It's gonna be great content, I swear. Me dressing nice gets more views, okay?
The funny part, the really funny part is I wanted to do a series. I mean, technically I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but I don't really know if it'll actually like
Screw
come to
it.
fruition.
You know what? This
But
is a free for all on this stream.
This is my pitch to Taylor, okay? I've had this idea called In My Mid-20s, and the series the series
30s. Anyways,
the series is that you just like do a bunch of stuff in your mid-20s that like you wouldn't have expected to do. So like,
how about we
I
do
don't know.
20s versus 30s? Because I'm like,
see,
you said you just turned 24?
25.
25? So we're like
last
8 years
week.
apart? I did the math. We're fine. Let's do that. 25 versus 33 for some reason. I think
Yeah, 25 versus 33 massages.
Lisa does everything the same except for her neck hurts.
I mean, like,
Her neck hurts and she has smile wrinkles. That's the only difference, really. That, you know what? That's the best thing about having like a job like this is because like there's so many people who like want to be creative. And like I preach this to comedians. I was like, hey, during the pandemic, you can't do comedy. Please do something else. Start a podcast, do whatever. Just do something to keep those juices flowing. That's why I started streaming. I was like, I like playing video games, but I want to entertain people because people don't realize like being creative in like multiple things is amazing for your resume. I know so many comedians that became like ordained ministers, public speakers. I have people who moderate like corporate like speaking stuff. Like they go to corporate events where they have like all these big name tech people talk and he moderates them and gets paid a shit ton of money because you're good at public speaking. Like people do not realize that. I did not know that public speaking is the biggest fear in like the entire world. Like people are more
That's
scared
valid.
of they're more terrified of public speaking than sharks and spiders, which is hilarious to me, because spiders are
I used to be that
terrifying.
way.
Yeah, I'm not terrified. I will shame myself in front of everybody. I don't care. But that is a skill. So I say the more skills you have, public speaking and other things or creating content, it's going to open up your mind to being more creative. But instead, everyone's like, no, I'm just going to stick to this thing until the pandemic's over. And then the pandemic ended. I was like, what did you have to show for that? Well, I got really depressed for 2 years. I did too, but I streamed.
I did it too. I was also very depressed, but I did it while filming myself on the internet.
Yeah, right? Now it's just content. And the best thing is when you start doing things like this, people don't realize this, is that because the American tax system is a joke, and I hope the IRS is not watching it, you just tax anything. I wore makeup in this stream. I'm fucking taxed. I'm writing that off my taxes. I wrote off so much shit on my taxes. A Lego set, every game I bought, every controller I bought.
I feel like I do my taxes very wrong.
Yeah, fucking who cares, you know? Like if billionaires can get away with like barely paying any money, we can get away with taxing off like a eyeliner we bought at Ulta because I had to wear it on stream. Anything you include in your content is a write-off. I'm sorry. You can argue with me
I want IRL Rocket League.
Yep, write off everything. I saved so much money on taxes. My mom was like, why are you writing off this Ulta bill? I'm like, I wouldn't have worn this so much makeup if I wasn't streaming every night, okay? I never wore this much makeup until now. Teeth cleaning, I wrote that off. My teeth gotta look good on stream. I'm going to write off my piercings this year, my tattoos. I don't give a shit. I'm going to do everything I can to cheat the government. I hope they're watching. It's true. It is 100% true. I did not know this because my first year of like doing comedy and stuff, I didn't write off everything. And I would see my comedian friends like write down miles and like meals that they got like when we were on roads together. I'm like, why are you doing that for taxes? I'm like, you're going to write off a McDonald's burger. You're crazy. And they're like, okay, but how many McDonald's burgers do you get a year when you're traveling for gigs? I'm like, I'm gonna write off my nose rings, my glasses, my eyeshadow, my eyebrow pens. Every single
YouTube video. I hired a content creator to do my taxes.
Oh my god. It's honestly like, I'm sorry, like we were talking about earlier, if Twitch is gonna take 50% of our shit and then not even tax us, then I'm gonna write off the Pikachu doll behind me. Okay, I don't care. Save your receipts. You don't even have to do that anymore. You can just save the fucking transaction you have on your debit card. You can be like, that's what I did. I'm like, here you go, bitch. I don't know what this went to, but I use it for content. Like, there you go. It is. Just write off.
I'm going home and I'm going to buy a couch because that's going to be the background of my stream. So.
Right. It's the background of my stream. Like, what are they going to do?
It makes it look nice.
What are they going to do? Like, go through your Twitch VODs and be like, I didn't see that couch once on your stream. You think the IRS knows how to do that? Absolutely not. I'm teaching people how to cheat the government. That is exactly what paid sponsorship wants me to do. Anyways, good time. And then we can write off all of our little children's Hummers that we bought off the internet because it was for content, you know? It's crazy.
Yes.
I know so
the
many
IRS
people.
Drops a follow.
They just get an IRS follow. Great. I hope they're learning. I'm teaching you guys how to cheat the government. It's great. Like when you were saying about vlogging earlier, I did 2 big international trips, 2018 and 19. In 2018, I went to Asia for like 3 months, and I went to like Taiwan, Korea, and Japan. And I loved it so much, but I got burnt out for a while. I wanted to come home. That I did it again in 2019, except for I did Hong Kong, Vietnam, and Japan. And I regret my first year going in 2018 and not uploading anything. Like I didn't do any vlogging or any stories or anything because it was like before. It was like right when Instagram stories were like a thing, you know? So it's just like, I don't really want to be that annoying person that posts my entire experience. And now I'm like, fuck it. I will post everything that I do now. I ate a sandwich today. You guys are going to hear about it. Like that's like, I want to go back and do that trip again and just put it all out there. So I can just be like, well, it was content. I'm going to write off this whole trip on taxes. There you go.
Everybody was so curious why I took like 5 Disney trips in 2020.
You're like,
tax write-off. I vlogged all of it.
Yep. As long as you have proof that you used it in your job, in quote, then you can use it. I was like, what about all my bad humor? Can I write off my therapy sessions because they helped shape my humor? Is that something I can do? We'll see. See, I'm an artist. I have an art ed in like months to a year. Yeah, it's the same thing with art. Anything that inspires you. If you draw, if you're like Andy Warhol and you draw yourself a nice little Campbell's soup can, all your Campbell soup cans will now tax write off. There you go. Anyways, now that I'm done like cheating the government, so as far as, okay, so like obviously you've built your content. I actually have, and I say this every episode, I actually write down interview questions.
Okay.
I don't ever look at them. They just
Valid.
sit here on a screen. I was like, I have so many questions, and now I'm like, we have a half hour left. I've asked 2 so far. I was gonna say, so your main thing obviously is I don't know if you see on the stream, I have you as EG Rocket League Queen. Mainly because I also looked aesthetically pleasing having it centered text like that. I was like, oh, that's who you are, and you're the blue-haired EG Rocket League Queen. Do you ever do other games as well on your like, do you, because I'm gonna be that asshole and say that I have not yet watched your streams. I think
No, you're good.
Yeah,
I haven't streamed in a very long time. Like, I'll keep it real, but yeah, no, so for the longest time, that was actually a really big issue with me getting burned out the first time, was I only played Rocket League. Because the thing about Rocket League is it's not like other games. People that watch Rocket League literally will only watch Rocket League.
Oh yeah, that's the nature of esports.
Yeah, so like at least in like other games, like I've noticed like people that play Riot games will at least watch the other Riot games. Like they'll go around if their streamer switches that same day, but like Rocket League, like people will just straight up leave. And it messed with me so bad. And then one day I just was like, I don't care. I really don't want to play Rocket League right now. Nobody knows that I like shooters. So I'm just gonna start doing it. And so I love Apex, like love Apex. And I love Valorant as well, but Apex is like a game that I'm like, I could play that forever.
I wish I could play those games. That's the old part of me, is there's one thing that happened to me when I was 30s was backaches and nausea from playing first person games. Like VR first person, I can't do them after like an hour. Like my eyes like do this and I'm like, oh my God, my head hurts. So good for you. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
And if I played Fortnite, I feel too old. So
fair. I played Fortnite back in the day, but now I'm starting to get into League because like I started keeping up with League after like when I was like secretly signing with EG and like nobody knew. I got to go to LCS in Chicago with y'all, and I had to like keep the trip a secret. And surprisingly, people recognized me at LCS.
They're like, Demi?
And I had to ask them, like, I was like, please don't post this picture yet, like, because like it's gonna be very obvious that like it's
you're big time. Like,
Thieves.
don't post this picture yet.
I'm like, it's 100 Thieves or EG, and I'm gonna let everybody take a fat guess on which one it wasn't gonna be. So, but yeah, that was crazy. And then so like after going to LCS and like learning the game, I'm like you, like I said, like with Rocket League, I watched the esport like religiously before I even touched the game. I didn't even like care to play it. I just enjoyed watching the esport and keeping up with the stories.
Wait, why? What got you into Rocket League?
My ex.
My ex. Honestly, as much as I want to make fun of us women for like we're true gamers, 90% are like a guy got me into this. Like it's like it was his fault. Okay,
Not my proudest moment.
It's fine.
But with League, like of course it was like the same thing happened to me, like being at the LAN and like watching and asking questions. I got really into it. So recently I've been playing a lot of League. Like a lot of League. And every time I talk about it on Twitter, because that's like the one game people on Rocket League are like, do not play League. I tweeted about it, and then people were like, imagine playing the wrong League. Oh my God. And I'm like, oh, I was like, but it's fine.
This is Rocket League of Legends. What are you talking about? It's a new one I came up with.
The new update.
It's just all the characters are just cars now. It's fine. Rocket League of Legends. Let's make content out of this. Come on, guys. Ideas. Come on, Sam, Taylor. You writing this down? We got new ideas here. No, that is really awesome though, because like this is how I feel about like esports too, is that like I'm a variety streamer, and yeah, it is. I've had to kind of learn to kind of just like swallow my pride a bit if I switch between games and lose a lot of audiences, because like some streams I'll get like 30 people and some streams I'll get like 100 or some, you know, it really varies because like, yeah, like you're not going to attract the same audience. Like my streams, I guess, blew up in quote because I was playing the Yakuza games and I had all the Yakuza people watching me. And then when I finally kind of got done through all of them, they all kind of like drifted off. And I just had to replace them with a new fandom and a new niche type of games. Like the Souls games came next, and now I'm kind of done with those. And so now I'm playing like the old Metal Gear Solid, and those people are coming in. But yeah, it's weird. It's like you gain different audiences, and before it was like, oh, people don't like me anymore. But really, it's because people will watch one specific thing, and I think that's very, very specific to esports too, because esports, it's like every single esports game that I'm aware of, and this is coming from a complete state of ignorance, is very time consuming. Like, and most of them are competitive too. Like I will play, for example, like Dark Souls, and then I'll beat the game, but then I'm done with the game. I move on to something else. That was like 40, 50 hours of my life. Time to move on. But like games like Rocket League or League or Valorant, it's like you don't have that end where it's like I beat the game. Like you're constantly playing with people and competing with them. Yeah, it never ends, which is great because you build a community around that. But it is really hard as somebody who streams esports to try to transition to a different one because these people are only watching one specific game because they love the game. Even you could be the greatest content creator in the world. You could be showing titties while you're playing it. And they're just like, I'm locked in the game. It doesn't matter. I don't care about your boobs. I just want to see some boom boom cars. Like, you know, like it is very funny. And that's something I kind of learned too. It's like, I know that I was entertaining during these streams and they're aware of who I am and they've moved on to someone else, but they'll never forget me. Like that's where I go. But it's very interesting to see because like that doesn't really happen with like other forms of entertainment, like stand-up comedy. It's like, yeah, I won't get booked on gigs with people who are very like raunchy, but I get booked with a variety of different comedians, and it's usually the same like every time. You just have different audiences. But with games specifically, it's like you're attracting a very specific audience. And I'll be honest, like you were saying earlier, like you don't sub to people and stuff, like you don't really understand like that concept as much. I don't understand the concept like of watching streamers unless it's a specific game. Like it's like, dude,
I connect the person. I'm like, oh, I love the person. And then when they're like, I only watch you for this game, I'm like,
it's mean. I don't care if you do, but don't tell me that. Like I watch people because I watch all my friends. They're all amazing. And like I love watching them react to different games. And only sometimes I'll go to watch people like play. Like I love watching people play through like Yakuza 0 for the first time. But even then, like I feel bad because then I become that person. It's like once that person's done with the game, I move on to someone else. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm that same person. But then as a streamer, I'm like, I'm just glad that they chose to watch me because there's at least 3 other people playing this game and you watched me play it. So it is interesting. It's a weird kind of like hurdle you have to mentally get past as a streamer. Like I'm sure when I'm done beating whatever game I'm playing and move on to something else, I'm gonna lose a bunch of people. But those people know who I am now and they will never forget because I will make sure they don't forget me.
Oh, dude. The whole thing with casting and me, if you guys didn't know, like I still haven't, again, I've tweeted about this before and I'm like, at what point do I call myself a Rocket League caster? And people are like, dude, you've been hired, so you've literally been on the desk at Worlds. Like you can call yourself a caster now, but I still associate as a content creator. But like, for me, like, again, first Rocket League TikToker ever, first successful, I literally normalized full-time Rocket League content on TikTok. Like everybody made fun of me for it.
But that's where your audience is. It's so hard to build anything else off TikTok. Like my comedy reels, amazing. Millions of views, hundreds of thousands. I post one clip of me playing Metal Gear Solid, 800 views.
Oh, so I'm like, yeah, whatever. No, people are crazy. And the crazy part is, so like when I first started, like I think, so like right now I have like 249,000. I haven't posted in close to like a year and a half, and I used to be so sad because like TikTok like shows that like you're losing followers each day from like not posting whatever. And when I like look back on it, I'm like,
go
girl,
eat a dick. Like
yes,
you have thousands of creators. Leave me alone. Like
literally, I looked back on it. This was actually like a couple days ago, and like I used to get really sad about it because I would be like, man, like I used to have 250,000. I think I had like 251,000, and then I was like, I'm so sad. Like I've literally lost like 3,000 followers, and I'm like, girl, you lost 3,000 followers in 2 years. You still have 248,000 left. Like calm down. Like and so these people. A lot of those followers, I would argue about 150,000 of those people didn't even follow me because of Rocket League. It was because I used to be really known for lip syncing to Rick and Morty sounds. And and that was like my whole thing. Is like I would zoom in on my face and lip sync.
How are
Rick
we
and
just
Morty,
talking
like,
about this
perfectly.
now? Because now I want to talk about this.
And so like people would like. They would, if I would post gaming stuff, they like didn't care. They would literally send me sounds that they wanted me to lip sync to because
You're like,
they
bitch,
thought
give me
that
money.
was
Like, what
and
are?
I was like,
I don't work for you. This is for
they would
fun.
come in my streams and they would be like if they would go like, if I donate $50, will you do the Rick and Morty sound on stream? And I'm like, yeah, I would do it for $5,
But I won't tell you that.
I
Can we
won't
make
tell
it $52? Actually, I'm a hardworking woman. Not me. I just have people being like, female comics aren't funny. Do something else. And I'm like, here's me playing video games. Like, females don't play video games. I'm like, well,
yeah.
I'm doing both, so I don't know what to tell you.
You are crazy, but like I'm the same. Like, oh, that was why I was saying, because you were saying like, oh yeah, like these people are like, well, jokes on you, like you're always gonna remember me, right? Like I was the first person you watch, and that's I think has been the funniest part about casting, is like, especially like the whole situation where I ended up on the World's desk, at Worlds this past season. I told myself, I was like, I'm not gonna go back through chat. Like I don't want to see it. I want to like live it blindly, and for some reason I went back and all the chat section was, hi cat.
Sorry, my cats are very annoying.
The whole comment section was, oh my god, I used to watch her on TikTok. She was my favorite TikToker. And so now what it's doing is it's like bringing my old audience back, and like they're aware that like I still exist, I guess. And so now they come into my streams and they like come back every once in a while and they're like, how have you been? And, like, I didn't know you still streamed and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't know I did either. And so I'm like, jokes on everybody. Like this week is my first stream back, like full time streaming. And I tweeted about it. Everybody's just like, she's in America at a time I can watch. Like, and now like I can be back, because people used to watch me like 4 a.m. because they were just that invested into the lip syncing thing.
Sorry, my cat is so cuddly right now. This is Katsu, by the way.
Hi.
Yeah, they're like, why are you streaming right now? You should be paying attention to us. No, it is crazy because like I've had people recognize me for things that happen. Well, this one is funny because I don't know if you've seen this, but randomly about 10 years ago, I uploaded a picture from me when I was 12 years old. On Reddit. It was like a random picture from Christmas. It was like me holding a skateboard and being like, and I had like a ball chain necklace, and like I had like System of a Down, Blink-182 posters. And it's a silly photo, and I uploaded it on Imgur. I don't know how you say it. When I was like 20 years old, and it's like, this is 2001 photo, and it got like maybe 20 likes. But then somebody stole that photo and posted on Reddit, and it made the front page. And it makes the front page every year since 2004. It just made the front page again like a month ago. Front page of nostalgia. All 90s kids' bedrooms, blah, blah. It's the silliest fucking photo ever. But I get recognized for that photo more than I ever have for comedy and Twitch. It is just like, oh my God, you're the girl with the picture. And I'm like, I was 12 years. No one cared about me back then. You hear that, Katsu? Nobody cared about me back then. Okay. And it's just like, why is that picture from 20 years ago haunting me to this day?
And I felt that. Mine is I walk around and I either get you're the Rick and Morty girl, girl. Well, I don't remember what it was. It was you're the I'm a potato girl.
Okay,
it was
what's the potato thing?
So the story is I was rushing out of the house and I couldn't think of a video to post. And it was and I really like nowadays people were like, oh, yeah, like don't post stuff like that because like it's a baby sound and like it's weird that you're older posting to it.
The baby stuff is weird, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, so and like nowadays I can't remake that video now. It just feels too weird. But like back then I was rushing out of the house and I didn't have an idea and I was literally just scrolling through my TikTok. I was like, I just need something that I can just copy from somebody really, really, really quick. And this girl came on my For You page and it was her lip syncing to the sound. And it was like, I was like, I'm a potato. And I was like, no, you're not a potato. And she was like, I thought you said I was a potato. She was like, I thought you said I was a potato. and so I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to do this sound really quick. Like, I got to leave and I haven't posted today. So like, I zoomed in and it was like, I'm a potato. And it was like, so I zoomed in and I just went, for some reason, I was like, I'm a potato. And I did the whole like e-girl mouth thing. And I was like, I'm a potato. I was like,
no.
So you said I was a tomato.
That is flirting with the internet. What you're doing. It's
Yes.
the e-girl mouth thing. I can't do it. I'm too old. I'm a potato.
Like, keep in mind, I'd never done this before. Never done the face thing or anything like that. Like the Rick and Morty was just me talking, but I did the full e-girl thing. And that video in a day got like 2 million views. And
it's
I gained
the worst. It's the worst, isn't it?
Like 50,000 followers. And all people wanted me to do were these damn baby noise videos. And I could not.
So creepy.
I was like, I don't care how many views.
Like,
I probably
this is not
like
the clientele I wanted. Yeah.
No. And I think it didn't help that like I was really small, like and petite. So like I looked small as well. And I was like, this is not the audience or thing I want to be known for. But now, sometimes, like, I'll just go out. Like, I've walked around in LA, I've walked around in Vienna, and I've had people come up to me and they're like, you're the potato girl.
Oh, like, no. I don't even know what a potato is, actually.
I was like, I don't like that I know how you know me. You're either a Rick and Morty person, a potato person, or a Rocket League person. And if you say you know me because of the potato video, I'm judging you.
You should go to get therapy is what you should do. It is like, yeah, and I hate that it's like even my tweets, because like I think anything that's like gone viral that I'm actually proud of is a tweet. Like if I post a stand-up clip that I've worked on for years and it gets 1 million views, I'm like, eh. If I tweet something stupid and it gets like 100 likes, I'm like, yeah. I'm proud of that shit. But sometimes I just tweet shit that I don't even think about, and then that will go viral. And I'm like, why is it the things that I don't even curate that just came out of my mouth? Just recently I had one blow up and I hate it. It was like a week ago. I'll see if I can find it. Sometimes I just tweet stupid thoughts. I'm like, I'm just gonna tweet this. It's not for anyone but me.
Bruh. That's like me with so like I did this thing where I just like let my intrusive thoughts win. And for like a whole week, I kept telling everybody, I was like, I really want to just tweet titties. And I don't know why. Like, just the word. And I was like, but I can't do it.
Titties! Well, now that Nicole's following you, gotta like, I gotta go through all the times I tweeted titties, you know?
I tweet the very first time I did it, I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. And I got like 1,000 likes in like an hour. And I was like, why? What? And like all the Rocket League pros were so mad. Like they all tried tweeting it as well, and nobody else could make the tweet go viral. And it was just because I tweeted it at like a random time.
My favorite.
Yeah.
I was gonna say my favorite thing about the internet though is not when things go viral, but when people somehow turn it around and make it about themselves. Like I have tweeted, like I didn't tweet, but I posted so many stupid stand-up clips. I made a joke about how I just got diagnosed with OCD, which I did. I went to go get Medicaid for it. I went to a psychiatrist, and then my joke was that my psychiatrist followed up with me. He's like, "Hey, how's the medication working out?" And I said, "Well, I just clean slower now." Like that was a joke, like because it's kind of true. Like so much of my OCD was involved with like my excessive need to like clean and be tidy. Like I just needed to always have my hands be busy. And when I started taking medication, I kind of just stopped feeling the need to be that way. Like I'm still very clean, but it's like it wasn't like I'm waking up at 4 a.m, excessively finding something to do with my hands. And I made that like a joke, because it's funny and it's harmless. And then so many people were like, that's not how OCD works and blah, blah, blah. Like, everyone just thinks OCD is because you clean a lot, blah, blah. And I look at their profile, I'm like, you are 13. You don't even know how to spell obsessive compulsive disorder. Like, you should not be the one literally preaching to someone 20 years older than you who has been struggling with mental illness. Like, I don't even address it. I just move on because I'm like, people will somehow turn other people's life experiences in themselves. Bruh. It's literally, like,
I posted a TikTok years ago and then I never talked about it again. But if you know me now, like how I can like talk to people and stuff, like you would not think I was the same person as when I was younger. I had I have, but like now I can live with it. But I was so ADD to the point where I was considered non-functioning. I could not speak to people. I was so nervous and stressed out and I overthought and I just like had all these things. Like the whole joke and the story that my mom tells people, she's like, it's so weird. Like my daughter like gets on this stage in front of thousands of people, but like when she was younger, like she would sob if I told her to go ask for ketchup or something. And so I talked about it on TikTok once. There was like a trend or something and it was like, listen to this sound if you have ADD. If your reaction is this, like you probably have it. Or no, it was like listen to it and show your reaction. How you would listen so people don't think you have ADD, and then listen to it like just normal. And like when I am truly like listening, I tend to stare very badly because I'm like hard concentrating and I'm trying to like soak in what people are saying. So what I do is like I'll look down a lot of the time and I'll just listen because like, if I could I would just close my eyes, but that's like considered rude.
Yeah.
And so I look down.
Like I don't even want to look at your voice.
And so what I've learned to do is like I've learned that I need to look at people, but looking at people stresses me out, so I look at their eyebrows and I like make my eyes blurry so like I can't see them. And these people were like, you're lying. You don't have ADD. You just were fake staring down. And like, I don't know. They were like, ADD isn't even a thing anymore. ADHD is the only one that exists. And I was like, I got diagnosed with this.
Yeah, it didn't exist before you were born, you 9-year-old girl.
Like,
okay.
Some of us are old, okay? I was like, I'm pretty sure my medicines were not fake.
I was diagnosed manic depression for years and taking the wrong medication. And I was like, this medication was making me feel like literally, like it's just so funny to me. It's like everyone's life experience isn't yours. And yes, like everyone tweets about, oh my God, I'm ADHD, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm glad like everyone is comfortably talking about being neurodivergent, but that doesn't give you the right to go downsize someone else's experience. And it's just with that. It's just with everything. Like I would post like an anime hot take, like this bitches only watch like blah 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 anime and blah blah, and it's like, who cares that I haven't even though I've seen way too many, but like who cares how many I've seen or not? This is my opinion about one show. Like people take things so personally, and that also really hindered me from like posting more personable TikToks. Like I'll just post like comedy clips and like video game stuff, and people's always like, oh my God, you always go on funny rants, so you should post them. I was like, yeah, so I can just have people on the internet harass me. And I realized like it's just because people don't have the energy to post their own stuff, so they gotta harass other people. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And it's just you know what, keep doing you, girl, because I think you're precious and adorable, and I'm excited to have you on our team. I'm excited to get some Hummers, some baby Hummers onto a soccer field and playing some real life Rocket League together.
Honestly, like, and I'll say it like a million times, and I've talked about it like on Twitter and stuff, but like casting was I think literally the only thing that kept me in esports and online. I was very comfortable with the idea of going back to my old job and going back to school, but I realized it was the situation I was in that made me not enjoy content anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like being on EG, and again, this is an org it was not a top pick for me. It wasn't like something I was interested in until I started talking to people. Literally the first conversation I had with Taylor, after that, I told my manager, I was like, just drop every conversation you're having. I was like, I want to be on EG now. And I was like, I don't care how this happens, but like, it has to freaking happen. Oh, dude. The rest of that conversation, by the way, was Taylor straight up telling me that she was not interested. She goes like, yeah, like 15 minutes in, I was going to tell you that I had another meeting and I was just going to leave. But then you were really interesting, so I stayed an extra hour.
Meanwhile, Taylor's like, I'm too busy to talk to you, bye. And I'm like, okay.
And so, like, now I feel like now that I'm on EG, and I'm in a situation where I could create content for the fun of creating content, not the stress
pressure
of it has to be good enough that I get enough views to make enough money to pay my bills. Now it's just I can do it because I enjoy doing it. Now Taylor has to deal with the fact that I'm going to send like 4 or 5 ideas a month ever. And I'm going to be like, I have all of these tournament ideas. I have a fun video idea, and like I want to do all of it. And that's what I'm excited about, though. Like, that part of me is like coming back that like has like the 100 million ideas. And I think, and that ties like back into the ADD thing, is like, I think with ADD, like my whole life, everybody was like, you can't talk that much about things you want to do. I think that's why like my parents were so cool. It was like one day I was like, I want to be a ballerina, and the next day I was like, I want to be a kickball
You manifest things that you think. Like, I've told myself too, like I was like, you know, I quit. So before I got hired at EG, I quit my job, not even having EG yet. I quit my job because I had a feeling I was like, fuck it. I'm done working for Microsoft. I'm done having to work 8 hours and go stream and be exhausted. Like, I never have time to relax. And like mine was more personal. Like, I want time to cook and relax and like exercise. And I've gotten so unhealthy because like I just want to do everything. And so I quit my job, and my parents got the dream phone call. Their 31-year-old daughter called and said, hey, I'm quitting my job and moving back home. Like, what? I'm like,
that's my mom's
trust
actual
me,
dream.
It's gonna work out. And they're like, okay. And what do you know? It did, because I manifested it was gonna work out. I had friends that didn't believe in me. Well, guess what, bitches? I got 2 cats now. I was biggest accomplishment in my world is having 2 cats. I will say I wasn't gonna bring this up, but Jungle John did, and since we work for him, I'm gonna bring it up anyways. But about a year ago, we had to do some content for somebody, and they wanted 2 people to play Rocket League. And I never played Rocket League in my life. This is obviously before you were here. Aru has. She was the other content creator on it. She's played a lot. But they had us play, and I had to download the game like the day before, play Rocket League for like 4 hours just to figure out what I was doing. And then I looked up a Wikipedia about Rocket League and learned everything, like about the move sets and all the stuff. What are things called? What to use? Because I had to like on the video pretend I know what was talking about. So I did this like 2-hour stream as a Rocket League coach. It was very funny because the person I was streaming with had to ask me questions. I'd be like, just make sure you use your boosters. Like, I had no idea what I was doing. And because like people were watching the stream for the people we were streaming with and not for me specifically, no one called me out on my bullshit at all. Like, that was just like, yeah, Rocket League is just like, it's kind of a lottery when you play. You're either really good or really bad. And for some reason, I'm just really bad today. And it was really funny because I managed to do it. But now that you're here, you can take over those projects, because having me pretend to be a Rocket League my chat still teases me about it to this day. They're like, Lisa, professional Rocket League coach. I'm like, and like this poor person kept asking me like, what do I do now? Like, how do I win? I'm like, you just got to keep boosting. I use my boosters. What do I do now? You just got to make the sharp work on the cornering. Like, I was just, my soccer brain came back in. So I was like, I know how to play soccer. And I know how to drive a car. I think this might work out. Like, and it was a disaster, but it was very funny because we managed to pull it off as professional Rocket League coaches. And thank God none of those people came into my stream expecting me to play Rocket League, but it was it was very funny. Like I had to Google terms and lingo, and like I was like, what's a lingo for Rocket League? How do I sound professional? And it was just like, oh my god, this is such a disaster. And of course Aru like beat the shit out of me. Like she was so good at it. I'm like, that's because Aru is like really good at, I mean, I'm great at the game, but she's like amazing at it. She's like a real professional. I'm like, she's a casual player, like versus me. So anyways, yeah, I can be your Rocket League content creator with you. I'm very good at the game. I've played about 3.5 hours of it, so we could do something together, you know.
Love it. I'm ready. I want to get coached by you.
Yeah, I can be your coach. I can tell you how to use a booster and use the corner and stuff. I actually, oh my god, I want to talk about this content so bad because I want to say it out in the open, but I had a really funny idea, and I talked to Jesse, who's in the chat, about this. I was like, you know, it'd be a really great idea for EGC or just in esports in general, is like, for example, like I don't know much about obviously Rocket League and a lot of other like esports games because I never really played them, so I'm kind of just learning, like, you know, how many people are in this game? 10 people. What are the name of the moves? Blah blah. I thought it'd be a really good idea because my mom like watches my streams sometimes, and she'll text me and be like, "Who is that man? He was very cute." I'm like, "That's a villain, but thank you." Like she'd be like, "Why are you so violent?" Like she would ask me the most mom questions about a game of playing. I'm like, what if we had like players' moms try to explain like a game or try to explain like a clip of what happened during, I just want to see what they would say. Like my mom would be the best because she'd be like, well, if it isn't Pac-Man, I don't care. Like that's how my mom is. And I'm like, oh my god. And yeah, my mom texts me. She doesn't join the chat, so she'll just text me her reactions, and it's just so, she hasn't done it in a while, but it's very funny when she does it. I'm like, oh my god, it'd be so great. Just have moms explain Rocket League would be amazing.
That would be incredible.
A highlight reel and their mom trying to explain the plays would be like, we just don't tell them anything and they just have to explain what's going on. We got it. This has been a great 2-hour stream. We literally just worked for 2 hours is what we did. We just sat down
we came up with like 10 ideas.
We just sat down and we just shit out some content, and now you guys have clips and timings. Like, Lisa came up with a great idea. I had to say it before I forget because I forget shit all the time. But anyways, we are out of time. And I just want to say I am so happy to have you here, not just on EG's CC, but also in Seattle. And so you can be miserable in the cold with all of us together. We'll have some good hot chocolate, and we can teach each other our moves in Rocket League together. And if you guys, I think I on the screen, I spelled your name based on your Twitter handle. Okay, but your Twitch handle is with one less E, right?
Yeah, I'm Herculyse everywhere but Twitter.
But Twitter, there you go. Okay.
Twitter's the only one with an extra E.
I will say, I think Nightbot has it wrong too, actually. But anyways, Herculyse is tagged in all the things. Please go follow her. Follow her on TikTok because she's so funny and so adorable. And you can go back and watch her weird baby videos. I suggest you don't. You can watch the Rick and Morty ones and the Rocket League ones. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me today and taking time out of your busy schedule to be with me. And yeah, if you guys are new to the show or if you're here from Herc's side, please give me a follow. I have another show next week with another creator. We do this every Monday for EG. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So have a good rest of your night, everybody. Shout out to Herculyse for joining us. And shout out to Elysian for sponsoring us with the Space Dust IPA. Yay! All right. Thank you guys and have a good rest of your night. Goodbye. Goodbye. Bye.